Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Popeye from Rabbit Hole Radio again. Just recording a video. I wanted to show you a few things. The last one I did, I went over the different ways to follow me now. I showed my Twitter. I showed a few other things. There was a few things I left out. I showed Rumble. I showed BitChute. But I do actually have a YouTube channel for Rabbit Hole Radio. It's only got a few videos up because I started it last year and immediately it started with the first video started getting screwed with, and it was getting, no matter where I published it, sometimes it wouldn't even show up. And it just, I'm assuming even the name itself probably set off YouTube's algorithm. But it's only got, I think, like 50 or 55 subscribers to it, maybe 56 now, which is nothing. But I haven't really used it because I put a couple videos up when I first made it just to test it and share links out and stuff, and the videos were blocked. One of them was already removed. I've got an age restriction on them, which means it's totally out of everything. And age restriction, you can't watch it unless you're logged in. And I know back in the day that used to mean you couldn't even watch it if it was embedded. You couldn't watch it if it was on, and I think that's still the case. If it's on Twitter, you can't just click it. You have to log into YouTube on your computer. And if you can watch it on the YouTube app, you'd obviously have to be logged in and then have your age in your account. Otherwise, you can't watch it, and it takes it out of, the algorithm, search, all that. So it's just basically it neuters the video. So you'll see the videos have a couple hundred views, but it's like the channel doesn't exist. Now, I'm sure if I talked about how great vaccines were and how evil Trump is, I would probably have 1 million subscribers, but I wouldn't want those subscribers anyway, to be honest with you. So there's that. Anyway, let's get into it really quick. So this is Rabbit Hole Radio. This is the YouTube channel. Here's the channel itself. You can see it's got, I put Beyond Treason up. This is actually 9/11 live news footage that I recorded with my VCR back 20 years ago. And then I transferred it from VHS to DVD, and then from DVD I digitized it. And it's up on one of my other channels. Then it's got, well, you'll see it. It's got a lot more hits than 34 views. We'll just put it that way. I think it's like 500,000 hits or something like that. Or that one might even be higher than that. This was a great presentation done by David Ray Griffin, which I put together. I re-rendered it and stuff and put it up here. And then this was an episode back in 2019, the end of 2019 into 2020. I was, as I said in the other video, even though I wasn't on radio anymore at the time, I was still going on other people's broadcasts as a guest. And on the weekends, sometimes a Saturday, sometimes a Sunday, depending, I would go on the Kev Baker show. He has he has 2 different channels on YouTube. At the time he had one, I think. And he was doing live streams from his YouTube channel on the weekend that were like uncensored, and he would have me on, and it was called The Weekend Live, and I did a bunch of shows with him. And this one is from 3/22 of 2020, and it was right before all hell broke loose. And it was just about as all hell was breaking loose, and we made some interesting predictions in this episode, which is this one right here. So, and you can see it's only got like 324 views, but you should give it a listen. It's a good episode, and we went over a bunch of stuff. It's uncensored, so there's some cursing and stuff in it. So if you can't handle it, I don't know what to tell you. With everything going on in the real world, I don't think you should really worry about curse words at this point. I think there's bigger problems to be worried about. But yeah, great episode. It's called COVID-19, the Georgia Guidestones, and the Agenda. And it's from 3/22/2020. I have broadcasts that I did with them before this, too. I have to get up, rendered, and put on here. And we talked about COVID before it was even on anyone's radar. We were discussing it. And I was like, if it comes here, they're going to use it to bring in martial law. They're going to try to push tyranny. You watch. They're going to want to get rid of cash. We talked about all of this. In this episode, it was, we talked about like what were the predictions for coming down, going further down the road, which is where we're at now, what would be happening. And everything that we talked about is what you see going on now. We're not prophets, it's just we understand what their plans that were ready on paper are. We've been talking about this for years. Now it's playing out in the real world, and you'll see people arguing for it and fighting for it. Anyway, great episode. Go watch it. It's over at Rabbit Hole Radio. Go subscribe to it. I'm going to keep testing with the Rabbit Hole Radio channel and seeing what I can put up there. I can't put any of my shows up there unless I remove my intro completely. I know people are like, well, just remove the intro. That's the intro to my show. It sets up the whole show. You have to just listen to the 2-minute intro. And the reason why it sets it off is because the background music is a modified version of Rob Dugan's Club to Death from the first Matrix movie. And it was redone. The guy that I worked with and we made the intro years and years and years ago, he reworked everything to try to bypass YouTube's algorithms and to make it a true remix, and he did. And it doesn't matter. It still sounds too close to it. So because of that, it sets off their automated, you stole their music alarm. And it used to back in the day just monetize the video. And it would have a, Google ad pop up and people would be like, you monetize your videos. No, I don't. That's Google doing that because of my intro. But I allowed it because they didn't really care about my intro. And then about 3.5 years ago, maybe a little bit more, all of a sudden, Universal Music Group decided that any of my videos that had that had to be banned. So they started blocking my videos unless I would remove that music. And then I tried doing that with their system, and then it ended up just muting entire episodes, removing all of the audio. And I still get messages, Popeye, what's up with this video, man? There's no audio. Or somebody will make a comment if they don't, it's not directed directly at me because they don't know. They'll be like, hey, uploader, or hey, original uploader, OP, what's up with this? Original poster, what's going on? Why would you put a video up with no sound? Like I did that on purpose. Like, use your common sense. If there's a video about a touchy subject and there's no sound to it on YouTube, I certainly didn't take the audio away from it. Think about it for a minute. Think about it. Why would I take my own audio away? That's YouTube. So, and I'll show you an example of that. So let's go over here. This is Federal Jack Tube 6. I'm going to go over my other channels too really quick. There's a bunch of different YouTube channels here. So Federal Jack Tube and the number 6, as you can see right here. And this isn't one of my older channels. I got about 25,000 subs to this one. It's funny because I uploaded, this is the video, how to follow me, my last one right here that I did. And what's interesting about it is the multiple ways to listen to Rabbit Hole Radio. And I uploaded it September 30th. It's only got 205 views. This channel has over 25,000 subscribers to it. Let's see, this is Federal Jack Tube 4. This is one of my other ones. Where's the one? There's the answer to 1984 is. There's Federal Jack Tube. These are all my different channels. There's Tube 6. There it is. 25,000.3K subscribers. So 25.3 thousand subscribers. So like 25,500. It's a decent amount of subscribers, don't you think, to a YouTube channel, right? And this is just one of my multiple channels. So, and this is an old channel. This goes back to the YouTube wars of 2006, 2007, and 2008 when they were just blowing channels up left and right, and even into then from between 2008 and 2010, 2011, it was really bad. This is the original YouTube apocalypse from before, not the ad-pocalypse where everybody's monetization was taken away. It just like people are being blocked now and channels are being just ripped down. That's what it was like back in the day. And I had a bunch more channels that were taken down. Anyway, so Tube 6 here is 25,000 subscribers. And yet, you saw that video, the last video I uploaded, that shows where to follow me and where I've been. And you hear me talking and showing KGRA's website and rabbithole.radio and all that. Yeah. it only had like 200 views. How is that possible if I have 25,000 subs? That means my subs are not seeing anything I post. That's what that means. I mean, 200 views out of 25,000 subs. You can see it right here. No, that's not being censored at all. And yet, this episode, this should probably even have more views, but this was a great episode. The Dark Side of the Music Industry and Culture Creation Explained. Great, great episode that I did with Frank Castle of Heist Clicked. And man, we went over a whole bunch of stuff in this video. And look, see, that's what the radio shows used to get. 105,871 views. Amazing. Big difference between that and this. I mean, look, even why Martin Luther King Jr. was against the Vietnam War over a year ago, only 1,400 views. I put up, look, Stanley Kubrick. Interview I did with Jim Mars, that guy that I put up a couple years ago. That's got almost 9,000 views. I mean, and that's if this thing that means that this video must have been linked somewhere. Otherwise, they don't get hits like that anymore. It's hard, like 505 views. This thing's been up here forever. It's ridiculous. If I wasn't getting blocked, then these videos would just have more views. And look, copyright claim instantly. And you click on it, it'll tell you it's copyright claim from, there's 2 seconds of music at the end of the video that I tried to cut. And I cut out as much as I could, but it was like background music from that the original creator of the video had put in there. And I tried to fix that to get rid of it. No, that didn't matter. Boom, copyright claim. Innocence Betrayed, which I have permission from them to play and upload, boom, copyright claim, because they, in the filmmakers of Innocence Betrayed, used a piece of music, and according to YouTube's AI, it's copyrighted. Even though I've got permission from the filmmaker to upload the original film, according to YouTube, I don't have permission from the person who made that piece of music to upload that video. Well, I don't need their permission. The filmmaker who made the film obviously got permissions to use whatever they used in their film. I got permission from the filmmaker to put the film up. That's how it works. It's not my responsibility to go chase down the people the filmmaker worked with and get all of their permission to put that documentary up. That's the whole reason the filmmaker made the documentary. But you see how the games are played? So you don't see anything. Anyway, so if you go over here, this is one of the videos I was talking about where the audio was muted. This is a video I did, an interview back in 2016 with cold case detective John Cameron. And this was when Making a Murderer came out on Netflix. And I had interviewed John Cameron a couple years prior about this same serial killer that we discussed tonight, Edward Wayne Edwards. And tonight, listen to me, in this broadcast. And I think it was a really good broadcast, but this was the second version, second upload. The first upload, I had the same issue. They did the same thing. They muted it. They argued with me about the intro, and I tried just to go in and like trim the intro out, trim the whole video and everything with their editing system, and they wouldn't let me. They just muted the audio. And at the time, that video had, I don't know, 10, 15,000 views because I had put it up and it went viral. And John, who wrote the book, It's Me, about Edward Wayne Edwards, the serial killer, and I had interviewed him already about this on a separate broadcast, just about his book. This one was about making a murderer, and the case of Stephen Avery and Brandon Dassey, and whether or not he thinks that Edwards was involved in in that murder and framed him. And he, at the time, was working with Stephen Avery's defense attorney, who is still his attorney. So I did this really great interview with him. I found out he was working with her. I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, John, would you like to come back on?" So we did this great interview about Making a Murderer and about Edward Wayne Edwards. And John put it up on his website, and it was going viral, and all of a sudden YouTube muted it. So I had to re-upload it and put it on this channel and then send John the link to this channel. And it was up for a while, and then they did the same thing. So I have my mic line open. So when I press play, as you could see here, you can hear what's coming in, right? So here,
Listen more often. Yeah, I try to put it out there.
see, that's Frank from Heist Click. So you can hear that there's music, there's audio, everything's coming through my board. Okay. So if I go back to here and I press play, mind you, this is open. You should hear it. Look, that's a video intro. That's not quiet. Normally you hear the Matrix theme in the background over that. So let's just fast forward it here. Maybe we'll go past. Let's get to the interview. Okay, so it's playing, but there's absolutely no audio coming out. And I'll just let it play for a minute. You can see the timer ticking away. No audio. So I didn't do that. Great broadcast, great content, and it was ripped away because of YouTube's BS censorship. They didn't, cut maybe the audio from the front or just allow me to cut the video out. Nope. They went in and took the audio from the whole file. So I constantly get messages, and I use this as an example because this is one of the videos I'm constantly getting messages about at least once a week, twice a week, comments or emails to the channel. Hey, why did you take this video down? What's up? I want to listen to it. I didn't take it down. Here's the thing. If you mark the date, which is February 10th, 2016, go over to rabbithole.radio and go down the list to 2016 and look for that date. And you can then listen to that broadcast and you'll be able to hear it. That's the way to do it. It's the best way to do it, easiest way to do it. And when I get the newer episodes of Rabbit Hole Radio up, I will do the same thing with a date in it, so it's easier for you to just go to the website and rip the audio. But you're not going to have the video. The video is really not much. It's just the special still image that I made for it. But I urge you to go to rabbithole.radio and just go to click on the tab that says 2016 and then just look up February 10th, 2016 if you want to listen to this interview, and you'll be able to just download the audio for free. That's the best way if you're on YouTube and you find an episode of my show and you can't listen to it because YouTube has muted the audio. Just go to rabbithole.radio. Rabbithole.radio. You've seen it. I put it up here for you before. In fact, I'll do it here again for y'all. Hold on. Rabbit Hole. Radio. There you go. Boom. Rabbithole.radio. Go here. Go to 2016. And then scroll down to where let's say it'll be, what did I say? It was 210. Here you go. Right here. 210 2016. Serial killer Edward Wayne Edwards. And it cuts it off, but it'll say the Avery Dassey case. Click this, and then you can it'll open it up and you can listen to it here. I don't know why it's doing that here. I open it in a new link, and you can just download it, or you can probably just download it. If it's not working, I'll look into it. But this is where all the audio is. So go check it out. Rabbithole.radio. It's really simple. Look it up and just download it. And it's the best place to go. And I got to update this. I know it stops at 2017. I have to put stuff from the end of 2019, 2020, and then now, obviously, the broadcast. I have to do a bunch more work up on here. It's just haven't had the internet capabilities to actually get in here. Believe it or not, when I tried uploading files from the back end, my internet is so slow out in the country that it keeps timing out. So I have to come up with other ways to get in on the back end and do what you got to do as a web page designer. So anyway, rabbithole.radio. So This is Rabbit Hole Radio, the new one, Rabbit Hole Radio on YouTube. Close him out. This is Federal Jack Tube 6. As I've showed you, the audio from this episode was just ripped away, and there's nothing I can do about it. Look, I mean, it says it's up here. But there's nothing I can do about it. I can't edit it. There's no restrictions on it. Yeah, there's no restrictions anymore because they took the audio away. And if I go to editor, here's the killer. If I go to the editor part, right, and I click on editor just to show you, there's literally no audio that they took it. Now, let me guess, it won't load it up. Okay, here we go. YouTube's just slow. Like I said, I have a super slow internet connection. Look, here's the audio track. So here's everything. Here's the video track. Look, great. Shows the whole thing, right? Here's the audio track. What don't you see here, ladies and gentlemen? You don't see any audio because YouTube removed it. So if you come across any of my shows and you're wondering why it's not there, hey, Popeye, where's the audio? YouTube took it away. You see? It's gone. I've tried to go in here and mess with it. Maybe just unmute it, fix it. There's nothing I can do. It's gone. See? This the audio track can't be added because this video contains unsupported effects. To be able to edit this video, please revert to the original, which I've tried, and it won't let me. So I'm stuck in this infinite loop of can't do anything. Nice, right? Thanks, YouTube. So that's what happened to Federal Jack Tube 6 and many of my other channels. And DTRH Radio Archives. If you go to listen to a show and it's blank and there's nothing there, that's what happened to it, in case you're wondering. So there's Federal Jack Tube 6. I do urge you to check it out, follow it, because I do upload stuff to here every once in a while now. And there's just a ton of great videos on here. There's May Brussels stuff. There's the other ones. Look, 12,000 subscribers to my one channel. There's Joe. Lola for JVB for LHO. That's Judith Very Baker's YouTube channel. She's got some videos up there. You should subscribe to it. This is The Answer to 1984 Is. That's one of my other YouTube channels. And then Federal Jack Tube. And I believe Tube 4 is over here too. Yep, there's Tube 4 with 13,000 subscribers. So Federal Jack Tube, Federal Jack Tube 4. The Answer to 1984 Is. DTRH Radio Archives. And of course, Rabbit Hole Radio. And I urge you, please go sub to Rabbit Hole Radio. This is the newest one. And there's a couple videos up there. Like I said, I started throwing stuff up there just to test the waters, and things already started getting deleted and muted. It was ridiculous and blocked, age restricted. I was like, are you kidding me? Apparently 9/11 truth is considered hate speech. If you talk about anything related to 9/11, oh, that's hate speech now. How is it hate speech? The official version is more hateful. That 19 Muslim guys got together to attack us because they don't like us for our freedoms. Talk about A versus B, us versus them. That's more hateful. The real story is that the government did it because they had an agenda and that they needed to push, and they wanted to change things on a global scale. That doesn't sound mean. That just sounds completely factual and truthful. Anyway, Federal Jack Tube 4, go check it out. Great stuff on here. Little great tidbits like this. Back in the day, you used to have very short, like 15-minute long segments to put up a video. Sometimes there was, I think in the beginning before that, it was even like 10 minutes. So you used to have to upload longer stuff in parts, and you used to have to break it up at certain sections. So it was usually where the commercial break was that you'd break it up. So here's the 6-parter of Real Terminator Robots. It was actually called, I forget the original title, but it was from a series that only ran for one season on the History Channel called That's Incredible. And then they removed it because they talked about things like invisibility cloaks, weather weapons, and other things. You could probably hear my cat meowing. Come here, Pooms. Oh, come here. Come here. You can come do a video with me. Come here. Mr. Pooms. He's a huge, black, furry, fluffy Maine Coon, and he's very bossy, and he wants his dad, and he wants his daddy's attention. Yes, you want your dad. You want your daddy's full attention, don't you, huh, mister? Okay, thank you for taking over the video. Little loudmouth. So, this is where I have put a lot of like archived stuff, older stuff from back in the day. Um, there's some good stuff on here. Look, evidence the Titanic was sunk on purpose, 2 million views. Jesse Ventura educates Fox News anchor about 9/11, over 500,000 views. This is when my videos used to get like a ton of views, and then they started blocking stuff. Of course, this is like 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Clinton's dead friends, 8 years ago. The North Hollywood shootout. I did a whole show on this. There's a lot of weird stuff connected to the North Hollywood shootout. Something you should look into. All the videos are available on this channel. So this is Federal Jack Tube 4. And then let me close this out. Then there is the answer to 1984 is, which you can see I've put up some, like, re-uploaded some of my broadcast too. This was like if I needed to get something out and it was either blocked or I wanted to get it more attention, because you have a bunch of YouTube channels, you keep getting channels shut down, you lose subs, and then you might get subs that resub to the new channel, but then that channel gets shut down and they lose you. So over the course of time, because I have so many channels, there are times I'll just, if I want something to get out and I want everybody to see it as much as possible, I upload it to all the channels, not at the same time. I do it over the period of time, but that's why you'll see some of the same videos on some of these channels. But this is the one I was talking about. 9/11 live news footage as it happened, 346,000 views. The Stanford prison experiment, 2.4 million views. Was the Titanic disaster an inside job? A show I did with Steve Stars, 540,000 views. And this is when stuff used to get, actual views. The truth about the Lincoln assassination, 39,000 views. Beyond treason, the true story of depleted uranium, 100,000 views. This same video right here, Beyond Treason, look, 100K views. Beyond Treason, 24 views. No, no, that's not blocked at all. And I tweeted this out. I posted this link to this upload, this version of it, all over the place when I first uploaded it a year ago, and it's only got 24 views. See, even Mr. Pooms thinks that's bullshit. Right, Mr. Pooms? Censorship. That's my boy. That's right. You know how to call it out when you see it, don't you? That's my boy. So there's all my channels: DTRH Radio Archives, Federal Jack Tube 6, Federal Jack Tube 4, Federal Jack Tube. And yes, these actually were in numerical sequence all the way up to number 6. There were 6 channels, and these are the only 3 out of those original 6. Federal Jack Tube 3 was the one that had all of the full-length documentaries and stuff on it. It was awesome back in the day. That thing had a couple million views, and I was gaining thousands of subs a day, like 20, 30,000 subs a day. It was ridiculous. I have screenshots of it. It's like the #1 most sub channel in like news and politics and YouTube for weeks, and then boom. Because the stuff I knew it was only a matter of time, the stuff I was putting up there, but at least it got out and it allowed other people to copy the documentaries and download them and re-upload them. That was the whole point. It's like being Johnny Appleseed. So you might stop me, but there's hundreds of other people that put channels out with those videos, and then even if some of those channels got taken down, those videos got copied and put up again. So ideas are bulletproof, and YouTube censorship proof too. You just got to figure out a way. Although it is getting harder, I will say that. So there's another channel. The answer to 1984 is. And then Federal Jack Tube, the original one. Another great channel, which was getting screwed with. Once they got up to 2 strikes, I had to go and create another YouTube channel and then start uploading again. It was just a pain in the ass. And I've lost probably 5 channels now, and I think I have 5 left. So I'm 50% from when I started. I had 10 altogether. Yep. Thanks, YouTube. So go follow me, Rabbit Hole Radio, on YouTube, Federal Jack Tube, and the number 6, which is right here. And then you can follow Federal Jack Tube, but Tube 6, Rabbit Hole Radio, and DTRH Radio Archives, which is It's easier to show you this one because it's right here. It's this one, DTRH Radio Archives. That's where all the Down the Rabbit Hole with Popeye, my older episodes, that's where I made this channel just to be the archive for that radio show. So go check that out. Go check out my Getter account, which I will put in here too real quick, in case you guys don't know what Getter is. Getter is kind of like Twitter. It's Trump doesn't own it. I guess it was like one of his former employees at the White House under his administration, I think is who founded it. But it's like Twitter. I use both, but I didn't advertise my Getter account the last time, so I want to show everybody. Go check me out over on Getter. Here you go. There's the profile, Rabbit Hole Radio, and it's just like Twitter. Just put in at Rabbit Hole Radio over on Getter, and that's where I'm at. I'm still on Twitter, but I'm also over here as well. And I do tweet some stuff when I go live. I put it up here as well as tweeting it. And then I actually couldn't post this on Twitter because Getter gives you more space to type stuff out, and Twitter does not. So I actually had more characters here, so I was actually able to put the entire quote by Woodrow Wilson after signing the Federal Reserve Act into law on December 23rd, 1913. So go check out Getter too. It's pretty cool. So I'm there, Rabbit Hole Radio, and then Federal Jack Tube 6, right? FJT 6, DTRH Radio Archives. The answer to 1984 is Federal Jack Tube and Federal Jack Tube and the number 4. So it's kind of a long-winded video, but I wanted to, after shooting the other one, I saw this and I was like, I should really be talking about the other YouTube channels. I didn't even include those or the Getter account, and I didn't explain really about the muting of the YouTube videos. So go check it out. If you need to download them, go to rabbithole.radio, and I'll be updating that soon too as well with any episodes that may not be, if you click on a link and it's not working, or all my newer episodes of Rabbit Hole Radio, I'll be getting up there soon as well. So working on it, just slowly. Got a lot of irons in the fire, and it's hard to do when you have super slow internet. If I still had super high-speed internet, it would be easy. I could automate the computer to do so many things, but when your internet is slow and it times out on you before you can even upload a file on the back end, well, that's kind of a pain in the ass. So it is what it is. But we're getting there. So go check out my channels. Hillary Clinton on Gaddafi. We came, we saw, he died. 2 million views. This is a great video if you get a chance to go watch it. The video the Pentagon doesn't want you to see. Put it up 10 years ago. Another great a little short, like 10-minute long documentary, so to speak, showing you the horrors of war and what really went on in Iraq. Why the Iraq war was completely illegal. The conduct of some of the people over there. The war crimes. 1.4 million views. And then it got that's how many it got. And then it got throttled. That's how many views it got before it got throttled. And that was 10 years ago. Great documentary. Great little 10-minute documentary. It's put together by another great YouTuber who has since been deleted in the Great Purge. It's all the great YouTubers, all the original OG YouTubers back in the day. There's so many people now that don't even know how much knowledge has been wiped from YouTube. It's like the Library of Alexandria. And it's like the sacking and burning of it. That's how much knowledge has been wiped. They want you to watch cat videos or video from the CDC or from the WHO or from the Biden administration, but they don't want you to see things like this. This was 10 years ago. This video was out, and it was controversial then. Now it would probably make people's heads explode and melt, and I'd be called all sorts of names for it, even though it exposes war crimes. But then they'd say, oh, it was the conservatives' fault. Blah. No, it was everyone's fault, including Joe Biden, who was supporting this war with every ounce of his being, because he's a scumbag. Just remember that. So I'll leave you with that. Thanks for listening to me rant, ladies and gentlemen, and I will catch you all again very, very soon.